Okay, I'm back to talk about power leveling, but there's two main things I really need to touch on. Number one, people reached out to me letting me know that there's another way to get to 1200 extremely fast, similar to that Widow's Walk Lost Sector thing that I talked about that they patched. It only took them about 24 hours to patch that first one, so it could be really quick when they patch this one too. If you haven't had a chance to grind out your characters yet, which kind of makes sense, it's only been a couple of days, and you have that severe FOMO from the Lost Sector thing that got patched, hopefully by the time you're watching this, you can still get in on this. But I want to be clear. I don't particularly love doing cheese videos or shortcut videos and stuff like that. I'm really just posting this so that those of you who missed out do have a chance, but also because the second thing I wanted to touch on this video was all about that power balancing. I had a few people DM me on Twitter. I had some people DM me on Discord kind of saying that they don't really get the power balancing thing. And for me, that strategy or that logic is something that is always going to be around regardless of cheeses or anything like that. So I felt like it was still worth it to make a video. Now let's quickly cover the new super fast way to level your stuff up if you're still behind. Load into the moon, go to Soros Harbor, and then drive down to the bottom of the Hellmouth. There's two spots here where you can get a guaranteed drop out of a chest each. One of them is just slightly to the west. If you wait for the knight to appear, you kill him, you go to this edge, and then these ledges will start to appear. Hop on the ledges, keep going until the last one, open the chest up, there's your drop. Then you can drop down all the way over there, and that's where an ogre will spawn. You don't have to leave the area or join a different instance or anything like that. You literally just wait for the ogre to spawn, you crush him, you open the chest, you get another drop. Rinse and repeat. That's all there is to it. Remember, you guys, before 1200, you're going to be getting huge drops that are way higher than your light level. And then once you reach 1200, they can only drop at your light level. And that's what I referred to as the ultra hardcores when it comes to balancing their level in between doing powerfuls and pinnacles, which is exactly what I'm going to explain in a little bit better detail this time around right now. Whenever people are saying top up your gear, balance out your gear, or fill in the gaps, this is what they're talking about. Let's take a look at this character right here. There's a 1208, 1207, 1210, 1208, 1208, 1208, 1211, and 1210. My average across the whole character is 1208, okay? So clearly, if we have a line here, and this is my average of 1208, I've got some that are above, but then I also have a bunch sitting right at 1208. Well, how many do I have here? 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 3 above, 4 at the average, and then this one right here is at 1207. So this is how I want you to visualize your gear's power levels when you're really trying to min-max. Visualize your average as a line, and then your gear that's above it and your gear that's below it. Whenever someone says they're going to fill in the gap or balance out, all they mean is they're going to look at the stuff that's below their average and bring it up to par. So in this case, I only have one piece, this 1207, that I could bring up to 1208. And how do I know I could bring it up to 1208? Well, that's because in my first video, I told you guys that after 1200, doing random stuff, getting blues and all that stuff can drop at a maximum of your average light level. So if I was to go and run this cheese method right now that I just showed you over and over, I would get 1208s to drop. In fact, that's where these two came from. Now, here's the catch though. Just because you have stuff below the average does not mean you should go and balance out and do that. The whole point of this is knowing when to do powerfuls and when to wait. So let's take a look at this example right here on whether or not it's worth my time to go and top up this special weapon. The best way to do this is using the most incredible tool by the name of Destiny Item Manager, otherwise known as DIM. When you link your account to DIM, you can see all of your inventory in there, and I'm sure a lot of you watching do actually use this already. If you look in the top left-hand corner and you focus right in on your character, you'll notice that they write your light level there. They give you the base, a fraction next to it, and then the artifact amount. This is super crucial for what you want to do. All right, now I've cropped that out from my dim and slapped it onto my character so we can run through this. It says 6 out of 8. That basically tells me that I'm at 1208 and 6/8. I'm very close to 1209, but not quite there. So all we're ever doing is answering the question, should I do a powerful now, or do I need to balance out before I do the powerful? Well, it's really this simple. Drawing that line again, we have the 1207 here. If I was to go and run something and I would get a 1208 to drop, what would happen? This 1207 would go up by 1, right? All I ever have to think about is whether or not that's enough to get me up to the next light level. In this particular case, it won't. It'll only get me up to 1208 and 7/8. I'll still be at a 1208 average. And why do I care so much about that? Well, the reason is because when I go to do my powerful, it's always going to just take base level plus 3. So if I was to go and run a powerful powerful right now, I would have a 1211 drop. In fact, that's what happened with these boots right here when I was still 1208. I was like 1208 and 1/8. I ran a powerful. I got a 1211 to drop. No matter what I do, I can't change this, can't change that. I can't change any of these three. Nothing I can do can bring me up by 2 more points from 6 to 8 here to bring my average up to 1209, because the best I can do is bring the 1207 up by 1. So this scenario right here tells me I have to go do a powerful. So let's look at the numbers once I'm done that. Funny enough, I hopped into Gambit to do my bounties in order to get that powerful, and lo and behold, a Prime Engram randomly dropped while I was playing. So I backed out of there, and this is what dropped, a 1211 rocket launcher. So I re-screenshot my dim, slapped it on my character. This is moments later, and now all of a sudden I'm faced with the same option. Should I do the Gambit powerful? Should I actually follow through and do what I was going to do, or should I top up? Well, it's the same logic here, you guys. I have 1208 as my average, except now my fraction is at 7 out of 8, which means if I go and farm on the moon and bring this 1207 up by 1, that'll make this 7 become 8 out of 8, which will put me at 1209, meaning when I go to actually do that Gambit powerful, it will not drop at 2011. It'll drop at 2012, and that's because it's always +3 from your base. So that's all people are doing. Every time they go to do a powerful, they just look at their numbers or look at dim, and they say, okay, if I was to bring all my under-leveled gear up to the average, would that bring me to a new average? One last thing I just want to say again, the developers of dim never cease to amaze me. If any of you see this, you're amazing. Keep doing what you're doing. Thank you so much for all the hard work that you do. This is an example of those nice little added touches that they always keep implementing. If you don't want to visualize the line like I talked about, they do it for you right here. They tell you across the board which ones are above and below. So looking at this, I instantly know, okay, I'm at -1 on that energy weapon, and I'm only 1 away because I'm 7 out of 8. Bam, it's worth it. All right, now it's time for me to get back into my comfort zone, which is PvP, so you guys can expect some videos on that coming soon. As always, if you want to join the Discord and have good discussions around anything like this, whether it's PvP or PvE, the link is down below. We have a really good group of people growing really fast right now, and we'd love to have you. Other than that, if you enjoyed this or if you found it helpful, feel free to subscribe so you can catch some of my future Stasis videos. Take care, you guys. I'll catch you in the next one.